I don't know what I'm doing. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and today we're going to be talking about where I've been and what I've been reading lately. So it's been a while. You may have noticed that I didn't post any videos for over a month. I posted 2 vlogs recently that I had filmed a while ago and I finally had time to edit them, and so I posted those last week from when I'm filming this right now. But the last sit down video I filmed was my October TBR, and it is now nearing the end of November. So it's been a while. I did not do a November TBR. There's several reasons for that, but I just wanted to come in here today, let you guys know that I am hopefully back to making videos and to just kind of explain what's been going on in my life a little bit, where I've been, why videos have been so scarce. I know I don't have like the biggest following, so it's not like, you know, thousands of people noticed that I was gone for a bit, but you know, I just wanted to let you guys know in case you've watched my videos for a while and you noticed that I was gone. Maybe you didn't notice and maybe you're watching this like, who is this again? I don't even care. If that's the case, I'm sorry. But in case you do care, stick around and I'll just talk a bit about what's been going on because my life has just been a little hectic recently. So let's get into this. So the main reason I haven't been making videos lately is because of grad school. So many of you probably already know this, but in case you don't know, I started grad school this semester. I am doing a master's in information studies, which is what I need to become a librarian. And it's not like a normal master's program. You don't have to write a thesis, but it is a lot of work. And I am actually loving my program, and I do feel like very confident that this is where I'm supposed to be and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I feel very good about that, but it has been pretty stressful. Honestly, like maybe not as stressful as you would think, but it's more like tiring than anything. I am just so tired all the time. Even after just one class, my brain feels like it's so full and I just can't do anything else. I am having such a hard time like getting home from school and then like doing work for school. Like most of the time I just get home and either take a nap or I just kind of lay there for a while. So I have not had the energy or the time to make any videos. By the way, it's really windy outside, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. But yeah, I haven't had the energy or time to make videos. Basically, all my time is being spent either at school or doing work for school or recovering from school. And again, like I am loving my program, but I'm just so tired all the time. And for reasons I will explain in a second, October especially was a very tiring and busy month for me, so that's why I didn't really have any time to make videos, because I was able to vlog 2 videos because that doesn't take up a lot of time, but then I didn't have any time to edit them. I definitely didn't have any time to sit and film any sit down videos, so that's one of the reasons why there was no November TBR, because I just did not have time to make it. That is probably the main reason I haven't been making videos, is I just haven't had the time. Now my semester is ending soon. I have 3 more weeks basically. I am kind of in the thick of like the end of the semester right now, so I'm starting to write my final papers and everything. So for the next few weeks, like I don't think I'm gonna be posting like 2 videos a week or anything. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm filming this today and I will be filming my December TBR soon. There will be a December TBR, mark my words. But once this semester is done, I have about a month off and I'm hoping to get a lot of videos filmed in that time and a lot of reading done in that time. All I want to do lately is read, and I just don't have the time. And also like it's really hard to pick up a book when you've just spent all day doing schoolwork, because then my brain just doesn't want to focus on anything anymore. I don't know if anyone else relates, but yeah, so that's one of the reasons I've been kind of absent from making videos. Another reason is in October I got COVID. She finally got me. I kind of was thinking that maybe I would just never get it because it seemed like so many people I knew had already gotten it and I didn't, but I got it. My whole family got it in October, which was very unfortunate, and it hit me very hard. If you haven't gotten COVID yet, or if you did and your symptoms were really mild, I'm very jealous, because for me it kind of hit me like a truck. I had a really high fever for a few days. I was just sleeping all the time. I was so tired. I had a really bad cough. I was so congested. My ears were blocked. Like, it was just awful. It was like, I mean, I know a lot of people have described it this way, but it's basically like the worst cold you've ever had. Like, it was having a cold times 10. So I had to recover from that, and I got COVID the week I had my reading week from school. So that week I had planned to like make videos and read a lot and just relax. And I mean, I guess technically I relaxed, but it was because I was incapacitated, and all I did was sit on the couch and watch Heartstopper and New Girl all day. Like, that's all I did. I did not get any schoolwork done, and I definitely didn't get any videos done. I was just trying to get through that time. So getting COVID kind of set off a chain of reactions, because I wasn't able to do any work during that time. So I got behind on my assignments, and I was able to get extensions for them, but because I was behind, I had to catch up obviously once I felt better. But the week after I had COVID, I went to Indiana to Sid from Sid Bookworm. Obviously we all know her. I went to her wedding, which was one of the best days of my life, honestly. I got to meet her, Kasey, and Jan, and it was just so, there's no words. There's no words to express how great it was. It was so beautiful. She looked beautiful. Caleb was beautiful. Like, also obviously meeting Kasey and Jan was just so exciting, and I got to share a hotel room with Kasey, and we got to explore Indiana a little bit. But that trip was definitely worth it. I would do it 100 times over. But because of the trip, I got even more behind on my schoolwork. So it was just kind of an overwhelming month, because I was sick, and then I was trying to catch up on work, but then I had to go to Indiana, and I traveled by myself, which was pretty stressful. And then I got home from Indiana and I was even more behind on work, so then I had to catch up on all that, plus do the work that, like, you know, that was due soon anyways, you know. So October was just a lot. And I didn't even read much in October. I only read 2 books, which I'll talk about in a second. But one final reason I kind of took a break was October is kind of a hard month for me. If you guys don't know, someone I know that was close to my family passed away last year in October in a very sudden and traumatic way. And I honestly thought that maybe the anniversary wouldn't affect me too much, because we weren't like super close or anything, but it definitely did affect me, like especially the weather, like, because it just brought me back to last year and when it happened and how I was feeling. Sorry, I should mention that I'm about to talk about grief, so if you want to skip this part, I'll put a timestamp for when I start talking about books, because this is the last part I'm talking about for this part of the video. Yeah, with the weather, like once it started to become fall, I really felt like I was brought back to last October, and I just wasn't doing the best mentally. And when I actually did have some free time, I really didn't feel like spending it making any videos or anything. I just wanted to kind of take my mind off of the feelings I was feeling. Also, what didn't help was a lot of things about Halloween and people's costumes and props people used were very triggering for me. So it was just kind of a hard time to get through. So like those 3 things, or I guess 4 things together, school, COVID, going to Indiana, and the anniversary of her death, was just a lot to deal with in October. So those are the reasons why I didn't make any videos, and I mean, I think they're pretty good reasons, so I apologize, but at the same time I definitely needed that time to kind of take a break from this and focus on other aspects of my life. But I am hopefully back, and will, like I said, I'll make my December TBR soon. My TBR I think will be a little bit different than how I usually do it, but more to come on that when I actually film that. So that's where I've been. I hope you all have been doing great. I've still been watching booktube. I'm still very behind on videos, as I always am, but I thought I would also like kind of give you guys like a very chill September and October wrap up. I'm not gonna do my usual like drunk wrap up thing, and I'm not gonna go super into detail about these books, partly because I just want to talk about them and then move on and, you know, move forward with my videos on my channel. Also because I vlogged all throughout September, so I've already given my thoughts on most of these books in those vlogs, and I only read 2 books in October, so I'll just give you my quick thoughts on those. But I just wanted to get you guys up to speed on what I've been reading. So quickly. The first book I finished in September, which feels so long ago now, but that was Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. I read this for the Shadowhunters read-along that I'm hosting with Lisa and Casey, and this was my favorite Shadowhunters book I had read so far. I mean, it still is at the point of me filming this. It's the only book I've given 5 stars. It's just so... or did I give Clockwork Prince 5 stars? I think I also gave Clockwork Prince 5 stars, but this is still my favorite. It's just so good. It's the 3rd book in the Infernal Devices series, and it's just such a great conclusion to this series. It's happy, it's very sad, there's a lot of sad moments, it's just so heartwarming, and I really, really love Will, Tessa, and Jem, and yeah, it's just great. It made me cry. I tabbed it up a bunch. I don't know if you could see, but I really love this, and it was 5 stars, obviously. Next, I read The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, and I was very excited to read this because it's been pretty hyped on BookTube for a long time, so I finally read it, and honestly, I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people had mixed feelings about the ending of this book, but I really liked the ending. It's basically about this woman who becomes a nanny to these 3 kids who live in this smart home, and then the smart home kind of starts acting weird. She's wondering if maybe there's like a ghost or someone's trying to play a trick on her or whatever. Something's going on in this house. And that stuff happened in the past. In the present day, she's been accused for killing one of the children. So you kind of go back and forth between present day, her writing letters to this lawyer, and then in the past, what actually happened. So I thought this was really interesting, and I gave it 4.5 stars. I think the only reason it wasn't 5, honestly, it's been a long time since I read this, so I don't completely remember everything I thought about it, but I think there were times where because I was listening to the audiobook, and sometimes I would just kind of zone out and then zone back in, and it felt like I didn't really miss much. So I don't know, but 4.5 I thought was really good, and so far I've read 2 Ruth Ware books, and I definitely want to keep reading her books because I like her. I like her book so far. Then I finally finished Heir of Fire by Sarah J Maas. I started this book 2 years ago. I stopped it when I was halfway through, and then I just didn't pick it back up again for 2 years until September. I finally picked it up again for Bookoplathon, and I finished it, and I ended up really liking this book again. I gave it 4 stars. This is the 3rd book in the Throne of Glass series, and I honestly find this series pretty fun. I enjoy it. I think the 2nd book is still so far my favorite in the series, but this one was pretty good, and I definitely like Rowan more than I did when I first started reading this 2 years ago, but I'm interested to see where it's gonna go from here. I'm still a Kale girly at heart, you know, he's my man. That's my man, Taylor Swift, thank you. But yeah, I'm very happy I finally finished this, and now I can continue with the series. Next, I read The Bane Chronicles by Cassandra Clare and 2 other people that I don't remember right now. This was the September book for the Shadowhunters read-along, and I did not like this very much. I gave it 2.5 stars. We did our live show fairly recently for this book, so I'll leave that live show and the Clockwork Princess live show link down below in case you wanted to watch it. But this is just a bunch of short stories following Magnus Bane, who appears in, I think, every series in the Shadowhunters universe. And some of them, there were 2 stories that I actually liked a lot. The rest of them, some I thought were okay. Most of them I thought were just really boring and unnecessary. We all know I'm not a big short story collection person, so this was not really my cup of tea, but the story that follows characters from the Infernal Devices and the last story with Magnus and Alex's first date, those were my 2 favorite stories. I really enjoyed those. The rest of them were fine, so yeah, it was 2.5 stars. I could have done without it, but I guess there were a few nice Easter eggs in it, whatever, but yeah, I read it, it was fine. Then I read You Exist Too Much by Zaina Arafat, and this was so good. I loved this book. It was so just interesting, and it was told in such an interesting way. There's so much about this book that there's no way I could explain it in like a concise way. You're following this Palestinian American girl who has a love addiction, and she goes to a treatment center to deal with this addiction, but you also follow her just throughout her life and the situations that she has had to go through. There are a lot of trigger warnings in this book, so definitely be aware of those. Obviously trigger warnings for addiction, but also for homophobia, Islamophobia, eating disorders, like parental parental abuse and I think mentions of suicide, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it was a very hard-hitting book, but also like I just loved the way it was told. I loved the writing, and I'm definitely interested to read more from this author, and I think I gave it 4.5 stars. So it was definitely great and I loved it and highly recommend. Then the last book I read in September was Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I finally read this. It's been on many TBRs and I finally read it, and it also took me like all month to read, but she did it. And I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. I liked it, but it took me a while to kind of get into the world. Like I felt the whole book just being like, hey, who's that and where are we and who is this person and how do they know this person and are they related and where are they going and did they already go there? Like I was just trying so hard to keep track of what was going on. That was probably more my fault than Robin Hobb's fault, but this is the first book in the whole Elderling, what is it called? Realm of the Elderlings. The whole Realm of the Elderling series, which is like 18 books or something, but this is the first book in the first series, and you're following Fitz from when he's a young boy. He is the bastard son of the king in waiting. He's kind of just abandoned at the steps of the castle, the kingdom, whatever, and is raised by the stable master, and he also is trained to be an assassin, and lots of stuff happens. I will say there's a lot of sad moments in this book. Trigger warnings for death of animals. Keep that in mind before picking this up because there's definitely some sad moments in this book, but I really liked it and I really liked Fitz, and I'm excited to continue this series as well. So those are all the books that I read in September, and then the 2 books I read in October, and I finished both of these like at the beginning of the month, I think. I didn't read much in October, but the first book I finished was Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, and I didn't love this book. I gave it 3 stars because I don't think it's a bad book by any means, but it just wasn't for me. I did not really like the writing style of this book. I don't know, how do you even explain what this is about? You're following this young woman. Essentially, she's trying to save her sister who is married to the king or the prince of the kingdom, and she finds out she's being abused, and so it's her mission to kill the king or prince, or her husband basically. And she finds a ragtag group of people. They go on this quest to kill the guy and save her sister, and I don't know. I thought it would be a lot more fun than it was. It definitely trigger warnings for like complicated pregnancies and like traumatic births and you know, domestic violence, stuff like that. Trigger warnings for that. That was kind of very uncomfortable to read about. But also like the author tried to put in so many funny moments in the book, and I found it felt so out of place. And so many of the jokes in the book, like I found it was written in a way that like you expected to hear a laugh track after. So I didn't love it. It was fine. I don't know. I gave it 3 stars. Like, I read this over a month ago. I barely remember it, so. Will I read more from T. Kingfisher? Probably not. But I don't know. We'll see. If you didn't like Nettle and Bone, have you read any of her other books, and did you like those? Let me know. But this was just fine for me. And then finally, the last book I read in October, which was also the second book I read, was Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. And if you're in Sid's Patreon, I do like this book. I just want to make that clear. I just like some other books better than this book, okay? If you know, you know. But I gave this book 4 stars. It is like the ultimate cozy fantasy. Like it literally says a novel of high fantasy and low stakes. That perfectly describes what it is. You're following this orc. What's her name? Viv. And like after years of fighting and battles, she just wants to settle down and open a coffee shop, and the people in the town that she moves to don't even know what coffee is. And then she hires this other girl. What's her name? Tandri? Is that the girl? I think so. But she hires this other girl, and you know, sparks fly between them. I don't know. And it's just a very cozy time. There are like kind of sad things in it, but it's overall just, like it says, low stakes. It's a good cozy time. And it's a perfect fall book to read if you want to make yourself some coffee or a latte or tea or another hot drink, hot chocolate, or if you want to like boil some water and drink some hot water. I feel like I have to have something hot with this, okay? It's been a while since I've done this, so please forgive me. But yeah, I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. It was very cute and I would recommend it. So So yeah, those are the books I read in September and October. I will be doing a November wrap-up, so stay tuned for that because I've already read, I think, 5 books this month and it's not over yet. So I'm very proud of myself for going from 2 to at least 5 books. Also, the book I just finished, you guys, you'll have to see my wrap-up for all my thoughts, but it's one of my favorite books of the year. It's one of my favorite books of all time. I have not stopped thinking about this book. It is so good. So if you follow me on Instagram, you already know what it is, but stay tuned for my November wrap-up to hear me gush about this book. And I'm also currently reading Bloodmarked, the second Legendborn book, and that's going very well. So we are back in our reading mood. The reading slump is over. If I could just get through the end of the semester and then I could have more time to read, that would be great. So I'm really happy to be back. This felt like really good to just sit here and talk to my camera knowing that I'm talking to you guys, you know? And I'm really excited to just make some new videos. Why am I getting emotional? But I really missed doing this and I missed you guys. And yeah, so let me know how you guys have been doing. How has your fall been? Are you in school? Are you working? What are you doing? Have you read any good books? Just chat to me in the comments. I would love to see your comments. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being patient with me and thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon, hopefully. Bye!